Hey you! Happy Tom Ford Tuesday, where Tuesdays I dedicate to Tom Ford beauty. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the new concealer from Tom Ford, the Traceless Soft Matte Concealer. This is a stick concealer. I've been wanting a new concealer from Tom Ford, so we've got one. I'm going to share the details with you. We're going to do a wear test, and I'm going to do some comparisons to a few other concealers that I think are worth comparing, just because we need to know all the things. So let's hydrate and begin. Well, happy Tom Ford Tuesday to you. I hope you're doing well. So I have to just say, I'm actually really excited about this concealer. A few Tom Ford Tuesdays ago, we were just kind of talking and hanging out. And I did say, I did mention, I was like, oh, I hope that we get a new concealer soon. Like, it's, So let me go ahead and share some details with you, and then we'll get into all of the other things. So starting off with the packaging, it is the standard Tom Ford packaging, and I did get mine from Nordstrom. Skincare infused stick formula that hydrates the skin while providing buildable coverage with a seamless soft matte finish. Now, based on my experience with Tom Ford's soft matte, it is a very modern matte. It's not a drying matte. It's not a flat and dull matte. It's like a nice, healthy looking matte. It's like a very healthy looking finish, minus too much dew, too much luminosity, just very natural and skin-like. That's just based on my experience with the whole matte, soft matte finish with the Tom Ford line, but we will see, right? The concealer melds a hydrating skincare ingredient with imperfection blurring makeup technology. Okay. The formula features hyaluronic acid for instant 12-hour hydration and spherical powders to ensure silky smooth, seamless application for comfortable, non-dry wear. Hyaluronic acid plumps skin through moisture, reducing the look of lines immediately and over time. Vitamin E provides antioxidants, protection for the skin. The soft focus powder offers a natural soft matte finish. This formula is waterproof, transfer, sweat, and humidity resistant, non-caking, non-poring, and crease resistant. Wow, that's a lot. All right, so I mean, it all sounds fantastic, but we're going to see. We're going to put it to the test, and we're going to see. Packaging, let's talk about it. I hope I'm getting it on camera, but you can see there's like a little bit of a shift with the color. The packaging has a shift. It's still on par with Tom Ford's color scheme, but there's a little bit of a shift to the packaging, which I think is a nice little detail. So you've got the little Tom Ford right up here, TF on the top, information, color, and all the things at the bottom. We'll talk about the colors in a minute. And here we go. Twisted her all the way up so you can see that's all the product you get. And that is 0.12 ounces or 3.5 grams. That's it. I'm just going to point this out to you. It's probably not a big deal, but it's something to note, you know, just being upfront with you. The packaging, I mean, it feels nice. It feels of good quality and construction, but I kind of noticed that this doesn't really like securely close. I feel like it kind of, you know, like it closes, but it doesn't feel super secure with the closing mechanism. So I feel as if you were to put it in your makeup bag, the top would come off, is pretty much what I'm getting at. So just something to note. All right, so before we get into application, let me talk about the color selection. There are a total of 20 different shades. I picked up the shade 5W0 Tan. I purchased mine online. At the time that I purchased, it was not in store yet. I don't know if it's in store yet. I don't know. Anyhow, I used they have a little chart. I'll pop it up here so you can see that if you wear a certain foundation color, it kind of matches you with particular concealer shades. And I figured I would go that route, and let's see how it went, because I didn't want to get something too light, and then I didn't want to get something too dark. So across the board in Tom Ford foundations, I wear the shade 7.7, and that's kind of been my shade for a very long time. I have tried other shades, but I do find 7.7 to be like the right one, the right fit. So with that said, I went with the shade 5WO Tan. I thought that that was very helpful, especially with a newer product. So I just wanted to share that with you. All right, so let's get into application. I am going to try applying with my brush, and then I'm also going to see how it blends with the finger, and we're going to use a sponge. So we're going to do a couple of different ways for application. All right, so let me bring you nice and close. Hi. I am in my late 30s. I've got combination skin type, and for my under eye area, I have fine lines, I have darkness, and I like to hide all of that and look like I got so much sleep. Because this whole waking up at 5 a.m. thing, I don't know. All right, so all I've done is my normal morning skincare routine. I use my Augustina Spotter, the Rich Cream, and I do use that as my under eye moisturizer. So we're nice and prepped, and I've just done my normal stuff, nothing new. It is currently It's 7 o'clock in the morning, okay? It's nice and early. I want to really put this thing to the test and give it a full day wear test. So I kind of noticed something, and I want to share it with you really quick. When I was swatching this, I noticed that when I kind of built it up on my arm, and again, this was just an arm swatch, I don't know. I noticed that when I kind of built it up on my arm, it had like a little different color to it. So that's going to be interesting when we see how it builds on the skin, yes? All right, so one last look-see at how I look before concealer. So for my first application, this is the Tom Ford number 3 brush. This is their dedicated concealer brush. I have it, so I'm going to use it. So this is going to be more so the spot concealing method. And I'll focus it here on this little spot that I have here. And let's see. So I'm going to pick up product with the number 3 brush. There we go. And let's see how that goes. And nothing. Okay, well, see, this is why we do all of these things together, so we can see and a little trial and error together. I have one of my freckles. Let's see how we do on one of my freckles. All right, it's a little bit better. This is a tricky little spot there, so I guess. But that's interesting because it says it's got buildable coverage. But I don't know. I mean, you can still see my freckles, but I got a little something from using this brush. Let me be bold and apply it directly. See if that gives any more coverage. It's not overly impressing me at the moment, but we'll see. I'm going to put the brush down. Don't know if I loved that, but now for my under eye, one side, I'll use my sponge. This sponge in particular, it's a little bit smaller than your traditional Beauty Blender. This is the Beauty Blender Blusher. It's for blush, but it works great for concealer because, you know, it's nice and small. It's still got that nice Beauty Blender quality to it. So I'm going to put it on directly. I don't love doing that, but I feel like we just need to know. So I'm not going to be super heavy and stripe it. I'm just going to kind of lightly press it into the skin. Okay, doesn't feel too heavy. So now I'll go in with the Beauty Blender and blend. Now, Beauty Blenders usually share things out a bit, so this is going to be a nice way to see how this builds. Product feels rather creamy and light, doesn't feel heavy in any way. And although it said soft matte, I'm seeing hydration. Are you seeing hydration? I'm seeing hydration. And when I say seeing hydration, it just gives like a little bit of like not dewy, but just a bit of a glow. Do you see that? A little reflect. Yeah, okay, so that's just one layer applied, blended with the sponge. Let's do a little bit more, and then we will see how it builds. Okay, so let's go on with a little bit more and build her up a bit. Blending nicely, blending easily, feels very nice, doesn't feel heavy, doesn't really feel like anything, honestly, thankfully. All right, so we're super close. This eye, I have nothing. I mean, I covered my freckles, but not the under eye. So that is what the under eye looks like with no product, and then this side we have product. Okay, very nice. Now for the other side, I'm just warming it up a bit on my finger. And let's apply it that way, because honestly, with a stick product like this would probably be my first choice, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Blends really nice, I will say that. This is obviously a very light layer that's not build, and you can see the difference. This side that we built up, you can see there's just more, a little more brightness, a little more coverage. I feel like this would be nice for just like an everyday, you just kind of want a little something but not too much, just to kind of wake you up, brighten you up, get you out the door. Nice, quick and easy. This one just a little bit more. So let's build this up as well. So I'm going back in. And the beautiful thing about using your fingers with your makeup, it's not always our favorite, but the reality is the warmth from your body warms and melds product in very, very nicely. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I feel now we're like pretty much even. Sponge side and finger side. Get nice and close. I mean, you can still see my fine lines, but I want my product to move with my body. It's okay. I embrace my fine lines. It's not bad. Not bad. So again, the sponge side and the finger side. Okay, all right. So the reality is I am going to set my under eye. I always set my under eye. I'm going to use a very light powder to do so, a very natural powder, just to set the product in place. And we will begin our wear test. Powder of choice is Old Faithful Westman Atelier Pink Bubble. A very light layer, and a light layer is always key. Keeps things natural, but it just sets the product in place. And it's not taken away from the product at all. This powder is great because it doesn't take away from any luminosity or like hydration that your product may give, because it is such a natural powder. So that's why it's kind of like a favorite. Today's focus is the concealer. So I'm just going to go in with my Cream Shade and Illuminate Sculpting Duo. Just do a little something on the face, just a little bit. Just so it looks like I kind of, tried just to pull everything together. I just grabbed this off the top of my Tom Ford thingy. This is that Iron Cheek palette in Raw Desire. I'm just gonna use that blush today. Just a little something to pull yourself together. I'll do one last dusting all over the face. So I think we're unintentionally going for a no makeup look. A little mascara. And a little lip gloss. Topped everything off with a little bit of lip blush. This is so easy for the everyday. And here we are. Very quick look. Again, it's early. I have to go. It's one of those type of looks. It works. Anywho, here's how everything looks applied on the skin. Powders went over the concealer nicely. Still feels nice on the skin. Still looks pretty good. Definitely covered up my darkness. I feel pretty good wearing it. I feel pretty confident so far. I feel like it's gonna be a good makeup day. Yeah. All right, so I have got to go. I've got to get out the door. I'll do my check-ins and then we'll do some comparisons and we'll see how this new Tom Ford concealer holds up. But I mean, so far so good. Yes? Okay, I'll see you in a few hours. Hi. So, quick check-in. It's almost 11 and things are still looking and feeling really good. I really enjoy that this is like so comfortable, and I mean it still looks so nice on the skin. Oh, all right, feeling good, feeling good. I'll check back in a few more hours. Can you activate your Siri and ask what time it is?
Okay. Hey Siri, what time is it? 2:43.
Thank you. That wasn't Siri, but okay. So it's almost 3 o'clock, and here is how we're looking. How does Mama's makeup look today?
Good.
Good. What makes it good?
I don't know, you just look good.
Ah! Okay, short, simple, and sweet. I'll take it. Still feels very comfortable. This is the side with the finger. This is the side with the sponge. So far, so good. I will check in again in a few more hours. Hi, it's golden hour. I'm embracing the sun. And I'm here to check in. Let's see how everything is looking. It still feels really good. And we love that. So here we are. Yeah, all right. I'll see you again in a few more hours. Hey, it's the end of the day. It's currently, oh my gosh, my camera, 7:18 p.m. There we go, 7:18 p.m. So we did from 7 to 7. We did a full shift. Let me touch up my lip, and then let's see how everything held up. All right, let's get nice and close. Hello, I can't even hide anything up this close, you know. So here's how everything's looking. Wow. I will say this, throughout the day, consistently, this concealer maintained the same feeling of being lightweight, feeling moisturized. And when I say feeling moisturized, I don't want that to be thought of like as if it felt heavy, because it did not feel heavy at all. It didn't feel like there was anything there. It was just extremely comfortable while maintaining that nourished look on the eyes. I really like how this looks after wearing it for so long. Oh my gosh. Reality is there's not really many people coming this close to your face. You know, other than a select few, like your kids, your husband, your friends, you know what I mean? But wow. It's held up really, really well. I'm very happy with the way it looks. It's worn with me. I didn't get any separating. I didn't get any weird creasing or anything like that. I think it looks really good. So you see for yourself, you see how things held up. What do you think? Comment down below. I want to hear. So let's talk about the claims versus my reality, what I experienced throughout the day of wearing this. Now again, this was said to be a skincare infused, hydrating, buildable coverage, seamless soft matte. The soft matte, again, I think it stays true to the Tom Ford's soft matte, which is not dull and flat, but a healthy skin-like finish without the shine. Definitely got the skincare hydration, because remember, we got vitamin E, we got hyaluronic acids, which seems to be like the thing. If a product has hyaluronic acid, you know it's going to be moisturizing. I mean, I think we've got that covered. So definitely agree with the whole skincare infused aspect, because you can definitely feel the hydration and how comfortable it is and wears on the skin. The buildable coverage. Oh, okay. So you remember when I went in with the concealer brush and I tried to spot conceal. That didn't really go over so well. But when I built it up with the finger and the sponge, it worked fine. It built up. It did its thing. So that was interesting. And then remember when I swatched it and I built it up with the swatch, it kind of changed color a little bit. I don't know. That was weird. That didn't happen on the skin. That was just like on my hand when I swatched it. So I don't know. But it definitely does have buildable coverage. The 12-hour hydration claim. Yes, yes. Check the box triple times. It was very hydrating. And I will say it lasted all day. And I really don't think you need a lot of this. You saw when I went to apply it, I didn't drag it on the skin. I dabbed it on the skin and then I blended it and it was just enough. I never recommend swiping stick products on the skin. I feel like that can allow it to look a little too heavy. This, with the way of application where I kind of just dabbed it, was perfect. So 12 hours of wearing and hydration, yes please. It was not very humid. Here today, so I couldn't really test out the sweat proof, humidity resistant claim, but that will be so that one I'm going to leave to be determined, because it's Florida, it's going to get hot and humid very soon, it's coming, and then I'll probably be able to revisit that. So I'll definitely have updates for you as, you know, time progresses and such, and who knows, it may make it into favorites. So we'll definitely have updates with this on that in particular. Now, crease resistant, non-caking, non-poring, crease resistant. Yeah, for the most part, I mean, it moved with my skin. So I feel like that is where the claim of it being crease resistant. What was the other one? Non-poring. What does that mean? Non-poring, like it doesn't emphasize pores, maybe? But the whole non-creasing thing, I think that is just because of it being hydrating. It'll move with your skin rather than caking up. So that's definitely true, because it really doesn't look like I'm wearing makeup. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look weird. It just looks really like beautiful skin. So I mean, overall, the concealer performed quite well. I mean, you see it for yourself, right? And that's the beautiful thing of doing a wear test, is I can carry you throughout the day with me so that you can see how it wore, what it looks like. I get super close. You know, I mean, can't hide much doing that, but that's always really fun. And I feel like I could get so much more life out of this. I mean, it's 12 hours, but I feel like I could get more life out of it. Like, I feel like I could go and it would still look pretty good. So that's always a beautiful thing. For today's wear test, I did not do a full glam face. I kind of just wanted to focus solely on the concealing product itself. But what I am going to do is I'm quickly going to insert me applying it with the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation and the concealer, because I'm curious to see how it works and looks together. So inserting that footage now.
Me wind and rain.
Because, you know, I figured if you're curious, you wanted to see what it looks like with, you know, a little more glam, there you go. Okay, you're welcome. This is probably the only one I think is on par. I think this one is the closest to this Tom Ford. They're not the same though. Sorry. But they're close. Clé De Peau. This is a good concealer. This has got good coverage, super creamy, very long lasting, a beautiful formula. This is beautiful. This is really great. I have multiple shades of this. This one in particular is in the shade Toffee. I have Toffee, Buff, and one more. I have one lighter one than Buff. But this is a beautiful concealer, and I'll show them to you side by side. This is what they look like. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on camera, but the Tom Ford looks a little bit more creamy in just texture overall in comparison to the Clé De Peau. Okay, Clé De Peau contains 5 grams or 0.17 ounces, which is a little more than the Tom Ford at 12 ounces. At 0.12 ounces or 3.5 grams. So you're getting like a little bit more product in the Clé De Peau. The Clé De Peau is extremely creamy, and I will show that to you. That's just one swipe. Very beautiful coverage. It's very easy to blend, and it builds beautifully and wears really, really well. So I feel like this one is comparable to Tom Ford with that, but I do feel like the Tom Ford is just a little bit more hydrating, and the finish is a little bit different. If you can see, you get a little tiny bit more of that hydrated finish with the Tom Ford versus the Clé De Peau. I feel the major differences between the two are going to come down to the formula. The Tom Ford formula is just a little bit more comfortable and not as makeup feeling as the Clé De Peau. Not to say that in a bad way. I just feel that the Tom Ford is a little bit more hydrating than the Clé De Peau. The Clé De Peau, I feel after a full day of wear, although it holds up really well and looks beautiful, I feel after a certain point it starts to look like makeup. But both really beautiful products. So I mean, the reality is if you already have and love your Clé De Peau concealer, you're good. You're not really missing anything. I mean, if you're running low and you want to try something new, grab the Tom Ford. I highly recommend it. So those are all of the details I have for you today about the new Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte. So, I mean, it goes without saying I'm not the biggest fan of stick concealing products because I don't want something that's going to tug on my under eye. And usually stick products can be a little heavier because they have to be because of their formulations. But this is a nice formula. Performed really well. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about it. Comment down below. I'm definitely going to be back. I'm going to have updates for you, and I'm going to have other videos with this because I feel like there's more we need to know. So happy Tom Ford Tuesday, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me share this new concealer with you. Don't forget to give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.